Thank you. My name is Oyebanji Akins, and this is CTD Among Blacks. And on this wonderful audio section, I'm having my wonderful, I'm gonna call them families anyway, and my wonderful sisters and family friends. They joining me on this particular episode, and I promise you are gonna be hearing their voice more, and hopefully you might see their faces. But for now, we're keeping it on the audio. That's how it's gonna go. So, like I said, my name is Oyebanji Akins, and I have, I'm gonna start with the first name, which is Fatima. Can you say hi to our audience so that they can hear your voice?
Hi, everybody.
Thank you very much, Fatima. And Nobel, would like to hear your voice too, if you don't mind, so that people can know I have this wonderful Cameroonian.
Hello.
Thank you very much. And for anybody that might not know, the voice you're listening to is representing all Cameroonians, and she's yeah, I gotta put it like that. And last but not least, I have with me somebody that has been, me and her have been back and forth a lot about a lot of things. So, Jazz, would like to say one word to our audience to listen to you.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you very much. And without not wasting too much of our time, we're going to be going deep into the conversation today. And the topic we're doing today is, can this Gen generation raise a boy? A single mom raise a boy in this particular generation where we are. So, Jasmine, how do you feel and what is your opinion about that?
So, my opinion on that, being raised by a single mom, I know I'm a girl. I definitely feel like I can see it being done. But with everything that we talked about earlier,
Before we came online?
yeah, before we came online, definitely some good points there. But I do think that it's possible, but it's probably going to be rare.
Thank you for that. So, Nobel, I'm going to move next to you. So, for every Cameroonian that might listen to this, anywhere you might be, I'm trying to come out for you, ladies and all wonderful men out there. Yeah, so Nobel is about to give us from my own perspective, actually. So, what do you think about it, Nobel?
I think that is going to depend on the mother's values and how she was raised. If she also came from a single parent household being raised by her mother, it 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 will be much tougher. It will be much difficult. Um, but it's not impossible. I just think that it would be in the minority.
Mm. So, you feel like that could only happen in minority? Not,
It's tough enough for any woman of any generation to raise a boy because we're not men at the end of the day. You know, even the ones that come from the strongest family structures and had the best fathers, unless there are other men in that child's life that may be, an uncle or somebody of the sort of grandfather that steps in, it's going to be hard. It's just going to be hard because a woman can only do so much.
Fatima, so your own question might a little bit twist. I'm saying like this because I think both of them have a point. And for you, I want you to tell me, how do you think we can help those single mom of this generation to? Because maybe we like you to know we might be bringing out all the reason why it's not gonna work. In your own way, what do you think? The community. I was watching something that said there's no community for Black people in America, and the person was saying what he means by saying community is like just not having. We only have hood actually, and they said the community doesn't exist because there's no bankers, there's no things where Black community can come together and help them
We
to
don't
get
support
jobs.
each other like Asian communities
So
or Indian communities.
thank you. So I want you to come in that area by what do you think in your own way for everything you've seen, based on your own experience, people that you've seen online read, what do you think we could do and how can we help or what are the things if a single mother is listening right now, what do you think you would advise her to do or how do you think she can cope with it?
Well, my advice is not really for the single mother. My advice is for these fathers that are making these women single mothers. Stop making women single mothers. If your father made your mother a single mother, why would you want your child to grow up in the same environment that you grew up in and be a fatherless child? So the issue has to stop with the men. The men need to stop laying these seeds and not taking care of their kids.
So do you think it's the men having intercourse with all these young ones or the young ones having sex with the young ones?
They're having sex with each other, but if you are not, when you have sex with someone and that person gets, you have unprotected sex.
Thank you.
There's multiple possibilities. Either you get somebody pregnant, you get an STD, or maybe nothing happens at that moment. But either way it goes, something is going to come out of it. So the moment you have sex, you are becoming an adult, and you need to make adult decisions and use your mind frame as an adult and accept whatever comes out of it.
I like that.
So if the fathers, if they came from a single parent household and there's no uncles teaching them this is what happens when you have sex, and if you're going to have a child, don't allow her to be a single parent. And what I mean by single parent is that you don't have to live with her. You can still parent your child from a different household. You can still take on responsibility. My son's father, we're not together, but he parents him. He comes and sees him at least 3 times a week, and he gets him. So my child is not, I wouldn't be a single mother because his father is still present. He's present physically, he's present monetary, and he is just always there for my kid. My kid can call his dad right now and say, I want a hamburger. His dad will come from all the way on the side of the town he live on and drive way where we live to bring him McDonald's.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that what the community's responsibility is to keep each other in check. So men who are fathers should be making sure that other men who have children are taking care of their children. You know, one thing I don't support when any man says, "Oh, I'm not in my child's life because of his mother." No, I call bullshit, because the court system that we have, if you really wanted to, you can go to court and at least get visitation. You can at least contribute something. But if you choose not to fight for your child, I have a problem with that. Yep. I have a big problem with that. But also, the mothers, we need to learn to separate our emotions from, you know, so it can't just be like, oh, he did me like this, he cheated on me, he did that. No. Coming as a woman who was once in an abusive relationship, as the judge told me in court, I had the restraining order against the father of my child, and the judge told me that don't got nothing to do with the child, and still proceeded to give him his visitation rights so that he could see his child. So there is no excuse for any man to just sit there. I'm like, if you know where your child is, you can access that child if you really wanted to. It's just a matter of whether or not you put in the effort to do it. But also, as women, we need to stop tolerating men who don't do for their kids. If I meet a man tomorrow, once I find out he got children, I'm asking questions. When do you get your kid? When do you talk to them? What do you do with your child? I've had to get on men before that I dated when he went 3 weeks without seeing his child, and I was like, I'm a mother. So if you go 3 weeks without seeing your child, that's not okay. That's not okay with me. You know, so and you were trying to come up with excuses like, oh, well, you know, I was busy, I was this. You had time to come try to get some, but you ain't have time to go get your child. That's a no for me. That is a no for me. I need you to go get your child.
And another issue is that as women, some of these women tend to use their kids as tools to punish a man. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you keeping your child from their father it's not hurting just him, it's hurting you and it's hurting the child, because now you don't have a break. Mm-hmm. As mothers, the kids are mostly with us. Even if there's a father in the house, the kids still want their mother. As a mother, you need a break, because if you don't have that mental break and that time to yourself, you will lose yourself. So when these women are like, oh, he got a new girlfriend in this way, so he ain't gonna never see his kid. No, you hurting yourself and you hurting your child, because you're not hurting a man. Because a man can go and be with another woman and not even think twice about their kid. Mm-hmm. Because kids are not attached to their fathers like they're attached to their mothers. Your kid don't follow you in the bathroom. Mine do. I can't even use the restroom without somebody sitting on the floor with their tablet. They don't follow their daddy like that.
Yeah.
So women hurt themselves by holding their kids as pawns, or if they like, oh, he not giving me no money. Sometimes your kid, they don't know that their daddy don't give them money. They just want to spend time with their father. Spending time with your child is more important to me than money, because at the end of the day, I can take care of my kids. But if you spend time with my son not gonna know that you didn't give me no money to buy his clothes. He gonna know that I spent time with my daddy. Now, when they get old enough and they start asking for money, then you go ask your daddy. And then I will allow you to make a fool out of yourself and disappoint your child. But I'm not going to keep you from your child because you're not giving me no money. And I'm not going to say, oh, because you're not giving me no money, you can't come and see him. Or tell my son, you can't go see your daddy because your daddy don't give me no money.
So
No.
if I think I kind of get what you ladies are saying, it's more about now. If I get it right, it's like if you raise your son right, your son will do the right thing with the next woman. So now, if the son is doing the right thing with the next woman, there's not going to be a lot of single parent, single mom,
Yep.
actually. So Jazz, I want to ask you this. From everything he says, from your own view, what do you think single mom can do better than what they're doing? For those that already been single mom, do you think from what they're saying they need to create more room by reaching out to their dad? Or for those that might be blocking those fathers from those kids' life, are they supposed to give them more space? And I think when I did the first episode, I was telling somebody, I said, my second call was, I said, I feel like for me, it's not even like some single mom doesn't want to even allow those men to come. It's like they just don't understand how to allow. It's like if I'm coming from a home where I'm being molested, where my mom allowed it, and I grew up thinking I'll find the right man, and then somebody manipulate me to impregnate me, now I'm having another child. Now, I'm coming from a part where I'm being molested, one. Secondly, I'm meeting a man that lied to me, that really break my heart beyond what I expect. That's two. And I'm having a son. Now, I'm looking at the son and all I'm imagining is those two men. And I don't want that boy to go through the same thing. Now, I might overprotect the boy to the level where the boy doesn't even know how to value the next woman. Because now the mom says so much to that boy to the level where the boy doesn't even know how to be a man. All he knows, like my mom went through a lot, and any girl I'm meeting, is it that you have to go through that same thing my mom go through? Because my mom did all these things. So why can't you do it? I'm trying to give you ladies some back channel about
I think as
how
women,
it moves.
we coddle our sons.
Especially, and I'm saying
We're
this in
gonna do it
America.
when he get older. It's just
I have a lot
just
of
hard
female.
to see our sons cry. Like I think I'm more harder on my daughter than I am on my son.
Why?
That's a trend with black women, actually.
I don't know.
In America, though.
That's a trend with black
I
women.
don't know.
I don't think
my
not just
son.
in America. I've seen African mothers that do it too.
Back home? Or
Even
living
here.
So I'm gonna tell you one thing about here. A lot of African American women, once they come here, they embrace a lot of American way of life, and they do it more than American, actually. Because this is a thing. I'm gonna put it like this. Just imagine me coming to America, right? I've been here for a while. I wasn't raised here, so sometimes when I ever want to be like them, I might overdo it. We're like, dang, Jesus Christ, calm down. You're doing too much. Now it takes somebody around you that like you, like calm down. You're really doing too much. Because I've seen Nigerians that are here that feel like they're really, really Americans. And you could know that they are doing too much. Like, it's just BS.
Son. They always saying son.
You understand? So, all that thing play roles. So, Jazz, what do you think from your own view, if you had to advise a single mom right now? Basically, from everything I said, what is that thing that pop in your mind that you like to share with people? And if you have something else, I would like to hear it.
I mean, the only thing I can say with that is put the child first. Put your child first. Every decision you make, your child needs to be in the forefront of your mind.
Let me ask you this. What age do you think a woman needs to start talking to their sons? Sitting down and talking to them? At what age, if you were to look at it?
That depends on the child. You talking about talking to their sons about what exactly?
So a single mom starts sitting his boy down and telling the story of like, okay, this is what happened to me. This is what I've been through. I'm not telling you to go through it. Don't become like this. What age do you ladies think a woman needs to start doing that?
I think that we need to talk to our children at all ages, but as a single parent, I think that we shouldn't talk to our children about what we encountered in our relationship with their other parents. There are things you can talk to your child about, experiences that you've had, but don't trash the other parent. No matter how bad that relationship was, your child should not be sitting there hearing about their daddy cheating on you or not coming home or beating on you or whatever the case may be. I know that it's hard sometimes as a single parent to separate the two, and that was something that I had to learn because my relationship with the father of my child was not the best. But I never ever sat there and would tell my daughter about, things. What I did tell her about, like, her father went to jail when she was younger. So, but I let him have that conversation with her about that experience because I wanted him to tell her, and to try to give her guidance as to how she wants to go about her life, and that there are real life consequences for your actions. But I wouldn't sit there and tell her about it. And it was times when she asked me, she was like, Mom, how come you're not with my dad? How come you're not marrying him? This and that. And I told her, sometimes two people are not meant to be together.
Yep.
She does not need to know the details. She did not need to, because if the other parent is truly bad in any sense, those children are going to grow up and they will see for themselves. They will learn for themselves. It is not our job to destroy their innocence. Let them enjoy their other parent.
And let them not believe their parent is a superhero. 'Cause I let my kid believe. He asked me, and he's 7. He asks questions now. He's like, oh, he asked me the other day, why did you and my daddy get a divorce? And I never married his daddy, but I didn't tell him that. I just said we didn't communicate good. Because I'm not going to tell him, oh, I was never married to your daddy, because I don't want him to think that that's okay to have a baby with someone and not be married to them. So for me, I don't know when I will have that conversation. It's more so whenever he asks a question, I answer it, but I never speak negative on his father.
So I'm gonna say this from being a man. One thing I've learned, I'm being blessed to have a wonderful parent. Actually, it's called the hell out of me, man. And I think from what you're saying is like, my mom sometimes withhold some truth about my dad, not because I don't have to know, but just because even though she's telling me then, I would never understand. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot now that I've grown. Man, I know it's not easy when the man wants to be the man of a home. Actually, there's one between a man in a relationship and you want to be the man in a home. That means like you really, really about to be the role model of everything you do in a house. And my dad was able to give me, even then I thought he wasn't giving me enough. And one thing I think one thing my parents doesn't know how to do is they don't know how to show their affection. Mm-hmm. So a lot of African people don't know how to show their affection. So growing up now, I can learn from my both parents when they talk about themselves. Now the flip story about my story is my mom didn't hold some truth, but I got old where I didn't talk to my mom for 1 year. And guess within that 1 year, my dad made me to know the value of my mom. So my dad was like, nah, I don't care what you know, or you got to go back to that one. So it took me 1 year, and now I've become so close that I do a lot of things to my mom that I don't even give my dad. Mm-hmm. So now when they have issue, I just tell them like, y'all just gotta sit down and express. Why would you sit in front of me? You can't tell me you really love me in the way you think you could do it. So for me, I'm going back to what you're saying. Like sometimes it's good not to say everything out to kids, because the more we grow, the more we just figure things out in our own way, and we do appreciate doing it our own way as a man than my mom telling me some kind of way I should think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because now there's a lot of things my dad is doing that now that I'm just emulating, I'm doing it, and I'm like, damn, I'm becoming like that man. But then I didn't be my mom. Kind of give me some. There's no perfect home actually. So my parents went through their own thing too, but they're still together till they're 40-something years. They're still living together. They still fight. And like you said, my mom always tell my dad like, the moment I don't fight you, that means I'm done. Mm-hmm. My mom still trace my dad as old as her. My dad is a preacher. Doesn't do nothing. My mom still drive cars, sneak watch where my dad is, and just bust on him. 65-year-old woman. I said, I thought you going. And now my dad would come like, what? I'm like, you just got to do it. But back to what we're saying is, do you think internet really play a role? Does it help single mom, or does it get it worse for them?
I don't think it helps. I'll take that back. It helps in some aspects because kids can learn a lot of things off the internet, but the problem is, as much as they're learning the good, they're learning twice as bad. Yep. Like because there's way more negative stuff out there than there is positive. No matter how much we try to regulate how much access our children have, it doesn't matter how many parental controls you put out there. They have ways to access things in their own, and if they're not accessing it, their friends are sharing it with them.
A lot of people are packaging. They package for social media.
No, I don't get that. How does that do? When you said a package?
Because they're pretending to be what they're not. Mm-hmm. So your kids, like someone on social media may be pretending to be a gangster, and your kid thinking that that's the way they should be. but behind closed door, that person is just as green as you and I.
And I think that's a big issue we have.
Do you blame people for that though?
But the issue
It's
is
social media.
But that's a line that say fake you to make it.
true.
But then you may have a little kid that's thinking that's the way it's supposed to be and gonna pull a gun and rob somebody and lose his life by something he saw on social media. Because social media has become so impressionate on these kids these days to where that's the life they want to live.
Yeah, because
they want to do everything they see online.
kids don't understand that social media is made for entertainment purposes. It's like watching a movie is really no different. It's rare to see people on social media who show you the 100% truth about their lives.
Yeah.
It is for entertainment purposes, is what's going to bring in the views. But children don't know this. So often that is the part where us as parents have to bridge the gap. So
like that.
I have a daughter who like to play video games, but she knows there is a big difference between shooting a gun in a video game and doing it in person. Yep. But the younger they are, I think parents need to limit their children's access at least until they are of age where they can start to understand things better. I see too many 4-year-olds watching things on YouTube that they have no business watching because parents are just like, here, go watch this. So we need to pay more attention. We need to be more in control of what they do. I have a teenage daughter, okay? I have parental controls on her phone to this day. GPS. I keep track of everything. When she still has to get approvals from me to go on certain websites, it sends me a notification. And I had this discussion with someone and they were like, well, don't you feel like you're sheltering her a little bit too much? Excuse me. She lives under my roof. She is my child. It is my job as her parent
Is it
to
a
pay
Cameroonian
attention.
in you that make you go scold your daughter like that?
Shoot, I don't know what
It's
it
not
is.
scolding.
I just intentionally threw it out. I want to see how you like this gonna catch
She's not completely
it.
sheltered. She gets freedom.
No, my daughter
She
gets plenty
to
of
hang out with her
freedom.
friends.
You
She
know,
gets
right
freedom.
now, if a lot of Gen Z listen to them, what the hell, y'all, lady? Me
Yeah,
about,
no.
you can't
My
do
daughter
this,
has
can't do
very
that.
much a social life. She gets to go out with her friends, little parties. They go to the movies. They have sleepovers. But she
that's
knows that I keep track of everything. Even apps that she will download on her phone. I will get a notification where she wants approval for an app. I find it that it's my duty to go and research the app and find out stuff. Like Roblox is a popular game that kids were playing. My daughter started playing Roblox when she was like in middle school. At one point, I sat down and did some research, and when I found out that there were chat rooms in Roblox, I blocked her from playing Roblox. And she was like, Mom. I told her, let me tell you something. Kids get kidnapped every single day. So as much as I shelter my child, or some people might think, I expose her to the realities of life. When my daughter was in middle school, I took her to the, oh my God, what's the museum about Nazi history?
Yeah, in Houston.
Yes. About the Holocaust Museum. I
Oh,
took
yeah,
my
I think
daughter to the Holocaust Museum in middle school and put her through the trauma of learning about Holocaust history because I wanted her to understand that life is not all sugar and peaches and cream and all that. There is real life bad things. When they have the what is it? When kids get kidnapped and stuff and they send out the Amber Alerts, I always mention it to her. And I specifically point out the ages. I'm like, oh, look, it's a 15-year-old that's missing. So just so you know, you're not too old to come up missing. So I do these things for a reason. So she understands that, okay, I need to keep my GPS location on so my mom knows where I am. Not because I want to shelter her and just be on her 24/7, but because of safety reasons. And I feel like a lot of parents need to talk to their kids. One thing I feel I've always been very big on communicating with my daughter since she was a kid. I don't believe in punishment without explaining
So that
what's
means
happening.
you answer what I asked just mean, right? Because I asked you, like, do you have to have an age where you start talking to your child?
I've always talked to her where if there's going to be consequences for her actions, I make sure she understands why those consequences came about. I don't just do the punishment of, oh, you did something bad. I've always taken the time to explain to her how we got here. Right. That way we're on the same page.
That makes sense.
Mine is different because my kids are still little and I'm an older parent, so I had kids later in life.
There's no all the time, man. You just got a kid. Don't say that.
When you live all your 20s with no responsibility,
you just an American, man. You no just that's just an American when you think you're old having your kids nowhere back home. People because still have kids in 30-something year old and they don't think they're old.
But that's different from here.
That's what I'm saying. In America,
yeah.
Having kids in your mid 30s is considered as having kids. That's medically is geriatric stage.
No. So wait, that's another topic. Don't go too much into that. So if you're listening to us, this is CTD Among Blacks, and I'll be trying to quote Nobel, which I'm glad she used that word, we're bridging the gap. And when we say we're bridging the gap, it's not about just bridging the gap. It's about giving you things most black homes, African Americans home don't have with their kids, or don't have with their friends, or don't have with their parents, or don't have with their loved ones. Just some things where we have to start doing it to help the next generation coming after us and the one already behind us. And Jazzime, I just want to ask you, basically from everything they say, like, do you think internet have a big role to play for a single mom and its kids, or you don't think it has any big role?
I think it has a big role to play in pretty much everything.
When you want to put it in percentage, what is the percentage of the good one and the bad one for you?
I can't give you a percentage. The negative has a larger impact than the positive.
All right. For me, I have a different story towards everything y'all said. So my own story is, you guys might not know, and I'm sharing this with anybody that might be listening to this. So social media have one thing people don't know, especially when you're using an iPhone. When you talk, sometimes they make you so much, they listen.
Oh, yeah.
So now, if you're in a home where everything you talk within your kids, you check yourself, not your kid's phone. Everything you checking on your own phone in this internet you're using in your house, they're definitely going to send it to everybody in the house.
Oh, yeah, listen.
So if you're really watching bad things, bad music, your kids are going to watch part of what you're watching. So for me, for any single mom out there, you want to raise your sons right, you got to be conscious of what you listen to. And I was sharing with my friend, I said, if you go to social media right now, Jen saying nothing good come from them. I'm sorry to say that. Nothing good come from ladies from 16 to like 24. If you had to see, I'm going to put it, when I did my section, I said, out of 100%, maybe I would take 20%.
Because they think it's fun to have babies.
Yeah, the 20s come from people that have their parents, their corporate, maybe part of people from Africa. But those ones that are just from the hood or just trying to figure it out, or they got into the wrong hands of the men, they don't even care about their kids, actually. I'm on Snap, and I'm telling you, these are not like prostitute. They show everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, when I will like, and this is people that you see outside too. They dress, they don't even care. They don't even feel like there's nothing bad about it.
Nothing is
now, like I'm saying, they are not selling themselves. These are girls that feel like for the attention to get to them, they gotta go bare naked.
And for a viral moment. Everybody living for
like,
a viral moment.
This is the thing, Jazz. Like, I'll see them like this bare naked, and I'll still come across them in real life. I'm like, how does it go in your mental state though?
And what they fail to realize, what you put on social media today,
Internet
10 years
doesn't forget.
from now, you may be trying to get a corporate job, and that video will come up.
That's even different.
Because companies, they check social media.
Man, that's even different. Let me help you. I always tell my friends, I said, we fail to understand that every lie, everything you put online in the next 50 years, it becomes fact. So if you're saying BS right now, in the next 50 years, it's fact for the next generation. Because whatever we say right now online, whatever stories you put in, right, anything you put in out there, in the next 50 years, it become fact. So they're just going to go to Google, whatever is being called, and that time comes, once they see it, it's fact. Because if you go to Google right now and somebody says something, I just Google how to do this. Whatever you're reading become your fact. Now, half of it might even be lie. But now, when somebody can really watch somebody saying some BS things, it's like, I can listen to them. So I don't care what you're telling me. And that's why my podcast, we started it, because I felt like black people doesn't have nothing. We're trying to. Internet has become something that gives us the audience we don't have, the power we don't have, the strength we don't have, the voice we don't have. But then if you look at what most black people are putting out, is just something in the next 20 years, most of us will be ashamed to like, damn, how did we get like this? The only thing with, I'm not trying to go racial with, the only thing you could talk about white people that's a lot is just carrying. Like they will tell you there's carrying, this, but take the carrying out. How many things you really think white people push out like that? We black people push everything, music wise, depression wise, anything you want to mention, we're always the top. Even right now, we're the one controlling the social media. Actually, that's why most movies are around black people. Black
we control
Panther.
The world,
yeah,
but we don't acknowledge that we control the world, and we don't take it and use it to our advantage. Because black people we are the leading in music.
Fashion.
We're
the trends. We're the trendsetters.
Yeah,
that's why when black people take over an area, people get scared. They like, it's too much.
Production,
I think we're
producing, we're everywhere.
Like we really have the power.
We're not taking our power, and we're not empowering each other.
Mm-hmm.
Black people so busy on afraid for the next person next to them to be better than them, that they'd rather not share how you got to where you are.
Oh yeah, that's be happening. So without wasting our time, I know it's been wonderful we saying this. So my last question is, I want every one of us to have something to say about this. Like, what would you like to say to single mom, single parent? Because sometimes some dads are out there to do the job. Like some women just don't know how to do it. So men take all the responsibility. So I won't take them out of the picture. But I know it's always hard sometimes some men give it to their mom or their grandparent to do most of the job. Because we men can't just do women job. That's one thing I always tell my friends. Like, I don't care how you want to tell me. There's something God has blessed women to do that men would never know how to do it. I don't care how you want to tell me. There's some things I know for a fact. I could try 2-3 times. I'm about to like, nah, come and take your job. I don't think this is going to work. So the last question is, what do you want to tell the gents saying out there?
For the single parents?
To the single parent?
Yes.
I would say,
advise them, anything,
don't be afraid to ask for help. As women, we take too much pride, as black people in general, we take too much pride in, I did it by myself and I didn't have to get nobody's help. No, you need a community. You need help. You don't need to carry that whole burden to feel like you're the best parent in the world. I would make the father of my child be a parent. Somebody asked me how you did it. I said, we had visitation arrangements. When he didn't show up for his visitation, I popped up at his mama's house with his daughter and dropped her off with her grandma. Now you got to go see your child at your mama's house. I made him because, one, I wanted him to be in his daughter's life. And two, I needed a break so I could be myself too. Because women will try so hard to prove that we're super women, and you end up losing yourself. And when you lose yourself, you can't show up for that child if you're lost yourself. Yep. So it's just not going to work. We need community, whether it's other women around you, whether it's your family members. But if you have access to the partner, the person that you had a child with, you need to open that line of communication, put your pride aside, whatever history y'all had together. It is not about y'all anymore. It is about that child. Prioritize that child.
And I would like to say, for those that are listening, that are not single parents, they don't have kids, but your friend is single parent, check on your friend. Mm-hmm. Ask if she need help. He or she, they may be too proud to ask for help. Mm-hmm. Go by and be like, I'm gonna watch the kids. Go to the store. Sometimes we just want to go to the store by ourselves. Like, go to the grocery store. Go get your hair done. Go do something for yourself. Or go take a nap. Check on your friends. Sometimes they need help and they don't know how to ask for help. Sometimes they need a break. They need a mental break, a physical break. It ain't always about finances. They just need space for themselves.
Thank you very much. So, Jazz, what do you have to say?
To all the single parents, I just want to say I applaud you. What you do is amazing. It is not easy. So I applaud you.
Thank you very much for that. And for me, I have a lot of single parents friends, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I've been around them where they share the story. I'll be like, Jesus Christ. Like, I have a couple of them, like, they don't even, it's like they're lost, actually. They don't have time. They can't go on a date. They can't leave their child. They can't even think for themselves anymore. So it's like, and every time most men come around them, you got a child? Nah, I don't want to do that. Like, nah. So because I do ask questions and they're like, man, you don't even know how men look at single parents. Like once you got a baby, they put a stigma to you like, you mess it up. They
But
don't
it be
even.
the men that got kids that don't want to be with a woman that got kids.
I'm not about to go through that. But for anybody that might be listening, this is CTD Among Blacks, and you could check us on CTD Among Blacks on Instagram, on YouTube, on Apple, Spotify, and you could check us on IH Radio. And like I always say, shout out to all the single mom in America, actually, in anywhere in this North America. I could tell you the system is built where a lot of black, strong, single parents go through a lot. And if you don't hear this a lot, they just all these wonderful ladies just tell you you're not alone, seek for help, don't think you could do it alone, and stay strong. You're not alone. And if you have anything like story or anything you feel like you want somebody to reach out to, you can always reach out to us on ctdamongblacks@gmail.com. We might not be able to do everything, but we might have somebody that can help you out. So I remain Oyebanji Akins until our next episode. It's been wonderful having these wonderful ladies sharing their views and their thoughts, and I hope I will believe we'll definitely keep having them more and more. So stay blessed wherever you might be. Stay happy, and like I always tell people, what you're doing now might not make a lot of sense, but if truly you know what you're doing is going to benefit your life, keep doing it. In a couple of years, it's definitely going to make a lot of sense to everybody. Thank you, and I remain Oyebanji Akins.